We're going to be playing some Deadlock today and doing a patch review while also working on our builds. So it's going to be a super fun day. Let me get to it. There's a lot of editing I got to do before I can start grinding. This is going to be a fun day. This will be my first time kind of going through a patch actively and redoing builds based on a patch. So finally get into more of the theory crafting of the game. Hopefully it'll be fun, and then I'll of course check in on what other people are doing. A lot of people send me private whispers on Twitch, which honestly I thought whispers on Twitch were gone, but I also don't have whispers on Twitch. Like I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So if you have done that, just don't. I can't whisper back. Every time I try, it tells me I've got to do something, and it's just nonsense. So okay, random phone call. I'm always getting weird phone calls lately. Let's just go through here. So I hope everybody's doing okay. I have a pretty funny YouTube video coming out soon about Deadlock, so that'll be fun. Gonna be making fun of somebody. By making, I mean, not in a mean sense, but in a, they were an asshole, so, you know, they kind of asked for it sense. But, you know. So save changes. Finally figured that out. YouTube thumbnails have to be updated every time you go live too. It's really weird. Wish you could put thumbnails on other things. I just don't think the auto thumbnail is very compelling, you know? Okay, so let me pull up these patch notes. I like to go to the Discord to get the patch notes. The Deadlock Discord. Okay, so here we go. Let's review some of these patch notes. We're going to kind of skim through the stuff that doesn't have too much bearing on, like, you know, the game itself. Like, very beginning, they added Trapper to the Hero Labs. So if you play in the Hero Labs and you want to test out the new heroes before they become live, great spot to do it. If you have arachnophobia, don't play Trapper, and don't play in the Hero Labs at all till Trapper is till they add an arachnophobia mode. Really big change to the game, and a great change is adding quick buy. So when you're in the actual shop, you can right click items and you'll add them to your quick buy. Shaders updated. They added some support for Steam Deck and some other UIs, putting more glyphs in. You know, there were keyboard glyphs that were missing, basically. You know, so now they added those in. So you can see, you know, your up and down keys when you're flying. They renamed the mouse wheel to chat wheel. You know, obviously it's not a mouse wheel. Even though most people have it on mouse. They moved minion camps. This is a really good change. They moved the loser camps, or what everybody calls the loser camps, all the camps on the outside. And they moved one of them, so on each side there are two loser camps, and they moved them from outside the walker to inside. And on the right side, you have one on the roof, and then you have one inside of a building, and I'm going to show where those are in the game. And the same thing on the other side. So both sides are roof, and one on the roof, one down below. And it makes a lot of sense to put a minion camp on the roof because it makes the rotations to the roof to get all of the golden statues and crates much easier, and it make it make more sense. Biased earn delivery locations move closer to neutral positions. Also a good change. Basically, what that means is for the warehouse, if we go into this image right here, which will actually go into the game and look at this too, but I'm going to open it in a new tab. And they added they put the altar right here. So this is where your tier 3 camp is inside of the warehouse. And originally there was an exit to the alley. There was an exit to your yellow lane, or sorry, your left-hand lane, which could be yellow or purple. An exit to your green or blue walker, and then a little Heidi jump spot, they call it right here. And then there was also an exit to the underground. So they added one more exit to go out to it's out to like where your center sacrifice is, like your nightclub is. And they called it exit to the garage. So anyways, they moved the altar. It was over here before. So it was kind of like further into your warehouse where it was a bit easier to defend. And they moved it to more of a neutral position, and they put another entrance right beside it. So it'll be a lot easier to contest for everybody in this patch. So removed all railing from the fire escapes outside the nightclubs and things like that. Great, because those were really annoying. They added these new roof antennas in, so you can actually see, like, we all know that if you get on some roofs, you get shocked. So you take, like, it's just damage over time while you're up there to kind of get you from not standing up there all the time, which is great for, like, counter sniper and stuff. So they added these, what they call menacing-looking versions of the zappers. And so those are pretty cool and very, very, like, it's very clear. I think the whole point of this was just to make it very clear when you're in a position where you're going to get zapped. And I like those a lot. So this was actually added in the previous patch, but they finally put it in the patch notes. They changed your exits to your base where it's a 45-degree angle. That's cool. Okay, so let's get into the actual weapon items and stuff. Close quarters no longer grants 45 bullet resist or bullet shield health, and now gives you 5% resist. That's pretty cool. I like it because the 5% resist can scale over time, and the 85 bullet shield is just like a flat amount that you're not like. So they're trying to make this an item where it's not just good when you first buy it, it scales over time. Restorative shot no longer grants a 7% bullet resist, but it grants a bullet shield. So restorative shot was an item that you would carry through the whole game a lot of times, especially on like characters like Geist until you got to the very, very end. And close quarters was an item everybody rarely bought because it didn't scale at all, so they kind of switched that up. And this is a big change. Now procs on orb shot for NPC heal value. So if you shoot an orb with restorative shot now, you're going to get the full amount of health you would have gotten from shooting an NPC. So that's awesome. Melee charge no longer grants 1% or 1 health regen per second, which is great. And the weapon damage was reduced from 12 to 10%. So this was a must-buy item on a lot of builds, and they're just kind of reducing the effectiveness of it. A lot of builds, specifically melee builds, so you had melee Shiv. I mean, you had some melee Vindictas that were buying melee charge. Melee Abrams, of course, is the one that everybody, knows and hates. Unless you play melee Abrams, in which case everybody hates you. And there's a huge bug with Abrams right now, so we're going to see how that affects the game long run. So long range weapon damage was reduced by 10%, 40 to 30%, and it now grants 10% weapon damage like base in it. And then when you're long range, you also get the 30%. So that's an interesting update. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start pulling the game up, and we will look at the notes inside of the game with the items. Specifically for long range, I want to be able to actually look at the distances and stuff that it activates and pull it up. Bippity boppity boo. And we're in the game. Come on. Hey, Abrams. I hate you. I don't hate Abrams. I just, he drives me crazy. Hey, what's going on? iShow, thank you so much for the follow. What's up? We're just going over the patch notes real quick and just looking at what changed and all that. Just chilling in the game. So let's go ahead and look at long range. So long range, you get the 30% weapon damage when you're 15 meters or further away from the target. And so now you just get 10% base weapon damage on the item without anything, but they lowered the amount of that you get from being long range. So basically, when you're closer, you're going to get an extra bonus from this instead of it just being all long range damage. You play Deadlock at all? So going into the next items that are on the patch notes, Berserker bullet resist increased from 7 to 9%. That's awesome. Berserker's now going to become an even better item. It's a really, really strong item on a lot of characters. I like to get it on... I've been streaming for years, but I just got back into it since like 2017. I stopped back then to work on a business. So Berserker Bullet Resist increased from 7% to 9%. Gonna make this item even better. I love this item on like a Geist. Active Reload now grants 50 health. That's great. Slowing Bullets Spirit increased from 5 to 6. So slowing bullets is even better now. I love slowing bullets, especially on... I love it on an Infernus mixed with Mystic Slow, just really slow somebody down. But obviously it works a lot better on characters that actually do a ton of bullet damage like Haze. Sharpshooter. Long-range weapon damage reduced from 70% to 50%, and it now grants 20% weapon damage. So again, when you're at your range, you're still getting the 70% weapon damage, but you're also getting 20% weapon damage closer up, which I'd love for these items to just be nerfed based on how strong snipers have been, but, you know, whatever. Alchemical Fire now gives you 1 spirit. Fantastic. So Alchemical Fire even stronger. Heroic Aura cooldown reduced. Good. So, you know, luckily they nerfed the crap out of McGinnis because McGinnis turrets with Heroic Aura was already really strong. But now that they lowered the cooldown, you know, it'll make where Heroic Aura is more of a you know, an easier to buy item. Intensifying Magazine, they reduced the time it takes to reach max damage by 0.3 seconds. And so, now I don't need any editing or video production. I mean, I have been looking for an editor, so if you want to hit me up on Discord or something, I'm willing to talk prices and stuff. So I'd be down to talk about editing work, but I don't need any graphics. Toxic Bullet. So they reduced the damage of Toxic Bullets from 5% of max health to 2.5% of max health. And that kind of sucks for an Infernus player. We're going to have to look into this. We're going to have to look into this and see how that really affects us in games. And they nerfed Infernus. I'd say it's a pretty... it seems a lot more drastic than it actually is. But at the same time, it's not the end of the world. So, Toxic Bullets, Shadow Weave detection range increased. This is great. Shadow Weave is a really powerful tool to get and engage with. Yeah, dude, my Discord is Fugio, F-U-G-I-O, capital F. Just send me an invite and shoot me over some editing work and shoot me your prices. So, Shadow Weave, you can detect people further out. That's fantastic. Going to make Shadow Weave a little bit less efficient, but still really, really powerful. It's just people might have a little bit of a better chance of countering it now. Glass Cannon, health reduced from 15% to 12%, or health lost. So that's good. So you get 3% health back, or you get 3% less health taken away. Can I type it? It's just my... Sure. There it is. Lucky Shot. Fixed it causing proc effect to roll twice whenever it procced. That's huge news. I think a lot of people didn't know that was a thing. So that was just a bug. You know, that's horrible. That made Lucky Shot way stronger than everybody thought it was. Now so Silencer now grants 12% Spirit Resist. That's great. They're adding in Spirit Resist to different items, which is great because there isn't a lot of Spirit Resist in the game, and it's a pretty Spirit-intensive meta. So Vampiric Burst cooldown reduced. Fantastic. The Vitality items are where I start having a lot of questions, and we're going to look at one Vitality item specifically about like kind of my confusion about it. But weapon damage. So extra health weapon damage increased. That's fantastic. So extra health is an item that I don't buy very often, but it is a strong item for like a brawling character like Infernus. Healing Right duration increased from 19 to 20 seconds, but the total healing remains the same. So you get the same amount of healing. It takes longer to go all the way through, and if you get shot, it ends. So I guess it just gives the enemy a chance to end it a little bit sooner if you go into a fight. Or if you want to stay out of a fight for, you know, 1 extra second to get the full heal off, you can. Bullet Armor, Bullet Resist increased from 25 to 26%. Great. Return Fire duration reduced from 7 to 6 seconds. Return Fire is pretty strong. It's been an item that you don't just get against Haze anymore. You get against basically any hero that shoots their gun a lot. So even like Infernus, I play Infernus a lot, and I've had a lot of people going Return Fire against me. Healing Nova now grants 6% ability range. This is a great change to Healing Nova. It makes Healing Nova even more efficient, especially when you're doing like a support build where you have Healing Nova and like a Rescue Beam. It makes your Rescue Beam go that much further. But what I've seen a lot of people use it for so far is being able to increase the size of the Viscous Ball. So that's like the big joke now is Viscus's ball now scales in size with ability range. So that's fantastic. I accepted the invite. Bullet armor. We already went over bullet armor. Combat barrier. Fire rate increased from 6 to 7%. So they're giving all of these items that are like not always picked. You know, there are just a lot of items in this game that are always like this is an item you need for this character. And they're giving these other items that aren't always picked, like combat barrier, just a little bit of an extra reason to pick it, right? Debuff reducer. Health increase from 75 to 125. That's fantastic. Makes debuff reducer even stronger for dealing with stuff like, CCs and all of that. And then, of course, later when you get debuff remover, makes it better for, staying alive during those situations too. Healbane, healing reduction increased from 40 to 45%. So you're doing 5% more healing reduction. That's great. Nowhere near as much as they gave to Decay, but we'll get to that. Reactive barrier restores 1% stamina on proc. So, fun. Or sorry. Reactive barrier restores 1 stamina on proc. So I like this a lot. And the reason I like this a lot is because Warden, right? I've been playing against a lot of Wardens lately. And I played against one yesterday specifically, who the combo is Alchemical Flask, which removes a stamina. So somebody uses a stam, immediately Alchemical Flask them, gets rid of the rest of their stamina. And then they put Cage on you. And then they also slowing hex you. Right? So as an Infernus, I only have 3 stamina, right? So I do a dash jump, I get Alchemical Flask, and then all of a sudden I'm in a situation where I'm being caged, and I have no stamina, and I also can't use my Flame Dash because I just got slowing hexed. So I'm just screwed, right? And so this, with Reactive Barrier, I could get that extra stamina back when I got slowed, and be able to do that dodge I needed to get out of the Warden Cage range. So, Spirit Armor, Spirit Resist increased from 20 to 22%. Again, just adding more resist into the game, more Spirit Armor into the game. Making these defensive item purchases even more impactful, which is huge because, honestly, sometimes they don't feel impactful at all. Divine Barrier no longer grants 8% ability range. That got moved to Healing Nova. It now grants 6 Spirit Power. So, now Divine Barrier protects somebody, but it also... gives you extra spirit power to do damage, or more likely to get your big heal off on somebody. So this plays really well if you're going Divine Barrier, Healing Nova, and Rescue Beam. You kind of still get all the same benefits all wrapped up. Restorative Locket, which is not a buy you see very often. How many days do I stream a week? Right now I'm doing at least 5-6 days a week, but that's just temporary. We'll see what happens. So Restorative Locket no longer grants 5 Spirit Power. Okay, now grants 25% melee resist. So, if you're going up against an Abrams, Restorative Locket might start being a play that you got to make. Metal Skin no longer blocks melee damage. That's sad. Debuff Remover. Debuff Resistance increased from 35 to 40%. Massive. And the cooldown was reduced by 3 seconds, which is only a little bit. 5% extra resistance to some of these movement effects might be all you need to get out of these horrible situations. Because right now we're really in a meta of ganking where these teams, that you don't even see the teams on the map. They freeze the lanes, and then they're just chilling in jungle. You got Mo, you got Abrams, you got Wraith, and all they're doing is waiting for the chance to gank. And then the second they see you, you're dead. Yeah, I can visit your website if you send it to me on Discord, but it'll be later. So Veil Walker ammo increased from 12% to 15%. So Veil Walker even better than it was before. Veil Walker is definitely not bought as much as it should be. It's a really strong item. And, it's like Shadow Weave, but you can use it like a bunch. Obviously, it's not quite as strong as Shadow Weave, but, these buffs make it even better. And then weapon damage increased from 10% to 15%. Huge, right? So now I think anybody going heavy weapon damage, even, somebody like an Infernus could go this because, Infernus wants weapon damage and they also want ammo. Fortitude health increased. Fortitude needed the buff. Life Strike bullet resistance increased from 8% to 10%. Fantastic. More bullet resist. Like I said, they're just sprinkling in those resists and all these different items. Soul Rebirth removed from game. That's fun. There were 2 different camps on Soul Rebirth. I don't know why they removed it from game. Maybe there was something like a bug that I didn't know about, where people were able to maybe like refresh it or something and get like 2 Soul Rebirths or something that just broke it. But a lot of people I talked to thought that this was a like, if you get this item, it's an easy way to lose the game. Right? Like people that were higher ranked than me. And the whole thing was like, you can see it on the screen. It's very easy to see that somebody has Soul Rebirth, and it adds 15 seconds to your death timer. And it's also like it's a guaranteed stagger. Like if you die with the rest of your team and you come back to life and you die, like you're gonna die if everybody sees it. If you're in a group, like a party, where it can really do a lot. If you're in a low elo match, like I always am, you know, sometimes nobody even notices you have it. But anyways, so but because of the extra 15-second cooldown timer, or the 15-second, I don't know how I could visit your website. You haven't sent it to me yet, man. So anyways, with Soul Rebirth, it added 15 seconds to your respawn timer, which, you know, now you're 15 seconds behind the rest of your team coming back to life on top of the Sagger, and it could just be GG, you know. That could easily be 30 seconds or 45 seconds where your team is down a person. Inhibitor slow reduced from 25 to 20%. So buffing or nerfing Inhibitor just a little bit. It is a very strong item that's basically a must pick on Spirit and on gun builds. Siphon now grants 15% weapon damage. Huge. This is going to be maybe the reason that I start running this over Leech every single time. Give me the extra weapon damage on top of the extra health. And now we're talking. Phantom Strike now grounds any flying target on impact. So if there's a you know, an Ivy in the air or a Vindicta in the air and you Phantom Strike to them, it grounds them. So it's almost like an instantaneous knockdown. So very cool. Gonna make Phantom Strike a really good counter against Vindictas and Great Talons and Ivies. Ammo Scavenger. So we're on to Spirit items. Duration increased from 35 to 45 seconds. I don't think this is necessary. They're just making it where the buff stays longer. I never had any problem keeping the buff up. But cool, great. Just makes it even easier. You know, I wasn't the person paying attention to that debuff all the time, or that buff all the time. But you know, I just check it occasionally, but almost always it was there, you know. But they increased the duration. So Mystic Burst now triggers on your base damage rather than how much the target received. Okay. If I'm understanding this correctly, and I'm understanding it, I just don't know what it's trying to affect. I don't know what was happening with this before. But it could have been that your damage is being amplified somehow, or your damage is being reduced maybe by distance. And so Mystic Burst was doing either less or more damage than it should be. And so this, you know, stabilized it. Slowing Hex. Ooh. Slowing Hex is one of those items that can just destroy, you know, an Infernus. And of course, being an Infernus main, So now uses Enduring Spirit as a component. Very interesting to use. So this is a Vitality item that builds into a Spirit item. First time in Deadlock. Slowing Hex now grants 10% lifesteal and 75% bonus health. That's just the passives of Enduring Spirit coming to Slowing Hex. They reduce the Spirit power because they're adding these other benefits to it, so reducing the Spirit power a little bit. And it no longer grants +1 sprint. Sad. You know, that, especially for characters that don't have a lot of sprint speed, it was a source of sprint speed. But for characters that had a lot of sprint speed already, it just made them ridiculously fast. Like, I can't tell you, Wardens, I'll tell you what, Wardens just flying around the map. So damage reduced from 70 to 40, so great. So again, Slowing Hex is just such a strong item, and it's doing all this damage. Like, don't make it even, like, take some of that initial damage away, because the damage shouldn't be coming from the CC. It should be coming from the follow-up to the CC, right? Like, if the people don't follow up the CC appropriately, they should be punished, not rewarded with extra damage, in my opinion. If you outplay a CC, you shouldn't be taking that extra damage. So Withering Whip, bullet resistance reduced from -14 to -11. So that's nice. Withering Whip isn't an item I buy very much, but the cooldown was also reduced by 4 seconds. So that's a pretty significant cooldown reduction on Withering Whip. So, you know, they made it where you could use it more often, but it does a little bit less bullet resist reduction to the enemy. Okay, so it makes sense. And it now deals 50 spirit damage when you use it. Yeah. Yeah, seems nice. Decay. Great changes to Decay. Decay went from being a good item to buy against a lot of tanks to being one of my top picks probably for buying early against tanks, even above Hillbane. So it now grants HP regen, huge. It grants 8% ability duration. Let's talk about, okay, on Infernus, now you're talking about a burn increase, right? So Decay is now looking like an item that can increase my burn, not just increase the amount my burn goes off, but also increase the distance I travel with Flame Dash. So healing reduction increased from -50 to -70%. So now it does a -70% healing reduction. So now instead of just being 15% more than before, Hillbane was I want to say 45%. Oh no, it's 45% now. It was 30%. So Hillbane was... Where's Hillbane? Okay, it was 40%, now it's 45%. So previously, it was a 15%... sorry, it was a 10% difference between Hillbane and Healing and Decay. So it's like, hey, F-No Spaghetti-O. That's funny. F-No Spaghetti-O. So instead of it being a 10% difference... now it's a 25% difference, which is huge. So it makes Decay a really, really good item. But it did reduce bleed damage. So bleed damage reduction from 3.1% to 1%. So some of your mitigation goes away. But hey, if you're a bleed character using this, I mean, you're good to go. Cooldown reduction. So it was also decreased the cooldown. So there's a lot of worlds where I go Hillbane now, or I go Decay instead of Hillbane, you know? Especially early on when I don't have Ricochet, or if I'm in a build where I don't go Ricochet. Improved cooldown. Cooldown reduction reduced from 16 to 14%. Spirit Shield improved from 75 to 100. And it now grants 10% ammo. So again, improved cooldown just got a big buff here. Like, it got a 2% reduction in the cooldown, but it just got a big buff in Spirit Shield and ammo. 10% ammo, that's huge. Superior cooldown is 15% ammo. You got Ivy 900 DPS. What? You got to tell me what build. I'm going to go play that build right now. I love Ivy. Yeah. Like, Ivy is the best. I mean, Ivy's like my third pick character. It's Infernus, Geist, and then Ivy as the characters that I like to play. Is this a gun build, I assume? You got him to 900 damage? Okay, so we are looking at an Ivy build. I'll keep reading the patch notes while you get that. 1,200 damage. 1,200 damage? That's... You'll kill almost every hero in the game in less than 3 seconds. It's a her, yeah. I can never actually tell, but is it a her? Is it? Oh my god. Change level _ street _ test. Is that not the right? Let me look up that command code real quick. What is going on here? Why can't I get to the other map? Okay. So Ivy gun builds.
Tell you what, I'll throw in a free keychain.
Already out of slots on this build, huh? Still got 3 spirit slots open. They're
Come back if you need anything else.
okay. Lucky shot. Get rid of. I'm assuming you're gonna start getting rid of
They say a little
spirit
luck never hurt
items.
anyone, but in this case,
Crippling
it's gonna do
headshot.
some serious
Get rid of
damage,
block
am I
it.
right?
How do you make it where it shows you your DPS? I need to learn these command codes. Tab. What did they add it? Did they add it here? Highlight over my character, and it's at the top. Oh, you're talking about this DPS right here. You're talking about this. Oh, no. There's a command code where on this target dummy, it'll show you your DPS like next to the target dummy. That's what I'm trying to that's what I was trying to, cuz it'll show like your real DPS as opposed to like the math DPS. Okay, in this order. It said cheats have to be enabled. That's weird. Okay, so let's get rid of this build. Reset hero. Let's make a build real quick and put in all the items you just said in the order you said them. Okay, Swift Striker, Glass Cannon, Titanic Magazine. So Swift Striker, Glass Cannon, Titanic Magazine. Burst Fire. Bullet Lifesteal. Extra health. You mean you would go Fortitude, build off extra health into Fortitude? Yeah, I just did HUD damage meter, but I think it says that requires cheats to be enabled, and I think that's like a permanent DPS indicator, but there is one where okay, extra health, leech, superior stamina, spirit, extra charge, which would build into rapid recharge. Oh, okay, do it exactly. Don't buy the extra stuff. Okay. Don't build on it. I'll just... Okay, Ricochet. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and just save that real quick. Oh, you know what? I set the hero to I reset the hero, so. Did I buy this wrong? What am I missing here? Oh, I didn't even buy the items yet. That's what I'm fucking missing here. Okay. Activate the levels. Okay, so I bought the items. What am I missing? What am I missing now? Yeah, I don't have my Discord linked yet. Sorry, I don't have any bots set up. I'm pretty new. I'm pretty well. I'm not new to it, but it's been years since I streamed. I'm missing a vitality item, and that vitality item is, let's check. Vitality, bullet life still, leech, superior stamina, extra health. Oh yeah, because I got rid of it. Yeah. Okay. Holy shit! What just happened? I mean, this is an absolutely insane amount of damage. It's still wrong. Okay, I got extra health. What else am I missing? Okay, try and redo it. Okay, so going back into the builds, I'm gonna add in. I'm gonna edit this build. I'm gonna add in extra health again to the build. Okay, and extra health should go, to put it perfectly back in order, it goes right after bullet life still. Okay, is this... Yeah. I will put a link to my Discord. I'll put a link to my new Discord, that is. Hey, F No Spaghettios, thank you for the follow. Here's a link to my new Discord. Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I mean, dude, this is 1,200 damage. I love Ivy, too, so I'll definitely go play this build. I mean, no matter what, that's a ton of damage. Yeah, I want to get down. You want to play some games? Okay, let me reset the hero again, okay. Reset hero. No problem. Anytime works. I'll give you a follow back on how does Twitch work. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, let me see that picture. You can just post it in any channel. It's not an active Discord, so it's just my couple of my friends in there for when I game and stuff. But I'm gonna start using it for this. I'm gonna add a bot, just like you said, you know, with ! Discord.
Well, someone's looking to make a statement.
We got the build. Okay, open in browser. Okay, so I am missing... I'm not missing anything. Swift Striker, Glass Cannon, Titanic Magazine, Burst Fire, Bullet Life Still, Extra Health, Leech, Superior Stamina, Extra Charge, Escalating Resilience, Ricochet, Intensifying Magazine. Hey, Jessica987, thank you for the follow on Kick. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I haven't ever used a template to build a Discord.
Big fan.
Okay, so I am at, let's level up the hero, max level, all perks. Now I will pop Watcher's Covenant.
We need to move as one.
I didn't buy any of the items.
Your enemies will curse your name.
Okay, we are up to 491. That is because our magazine was not reloaded. 441. It is weird that it's showing us different numbers because I see your picture, you know, right here. It's the exact same build, but yours says 918. Let's check. 53, 30.7 stam, light heavy. Okay, but I definitely think we can pump the build up a little bit too. Let's upgrade our extra health to fortitude, which will just give us a little bit of extra health. And it gives you that regen when you've been out of combat for 10 seconds. And it gives you 25% weapon damage when you're above 75% health, so that's huge. Let's get some spirit items that build into... So bullet resist shredder is huge on Ivy. You know, you throw your kudzu bomb down, and then you just can, you know, you melt their you know what I'm saying. And then we're looking for items that give us extra bullet damage for spirit. So right here, Surge of Power gives you 10% bonus fire rate. So we'll put Surge of Power on our kudzu bomb.
Taste. I love it.
Ooh, you know what? I honestly, keeping your purples open for flex slots on Ivy is not a bad idea. Because like a Silence Glyph is really powerful. A refresher on Ivy, of course, is like... I mean, refresher is basically a must-have on Ivy.
Serve the savior of Spanish Harlem.
Do crippling headshot, yep. And then I'll get crippling... Well, you know, we could do crippling headshot, which is really strong. It shreds their bullets.
Pleasure to serve the savior of Spanish
Glass Cannon is one of those that... 70% weapon damage, wow. Yeah, that's huge. Ivy, you really don't want to have Ivy below 50% health, so Frenzy doesn't make any sense. Shadow Weave, no, you couldn't do Shadow Weave. Oh, you know another item that would be really good? Would be Alchemical Fire. Right here, Alchemical Fire. So, oh no, sorry. Yeah, 50% weapon damage. Yeah. For a second. Yeah. So if you took Alchemical Fire... Anyways, let's just go with this for right now. And so now we're up to 447, which is still... Something's wrong. I'm doing something wrong here. But holy cow. That wasn't even a mag. So one magazine. And then we use that for bullet resistance shredder. I mean, there isn't a hero that'll survive that. I mean, there is not a hero in the game that will survive that build. Now the problem is, how do we build to that build from an early game build? And that's something we can fix pretty quickly. That is so much damage. That's unreal. I mean, that's not even including flying in, silencing, kudzu bomb, stun, Watcher's Covenant, and then they're just dead. And then like, oh, you're in here, you're gonna die because they're all on you. You just refresher again, fly away. And not to mention the amount of lifesteal you're getting right now. I mean, Jesus Christ, with lifesteal just off Watcher's Covenant is 31%. And you're getting a 30% fire rate increase with Watcher's Covenant. It's wild. So let me edit this. And what I'll do later is I'll go through and try to make like an early game build out into this. Because you couldn't just, you would have no early game if you just bought all the items. Okay, so to build, see weapon, to build. You could also do Diviner's Kevlar, actually. I'm going to do Diviner's Kevlar instead of Refresher and see what happens. So, Diviner's Kevlar, but you do everything exactly the same. So you would IV in, Silence, Kudzu Bomb, and then Watcher's Covenant. That should have done a lot more damage than it just did. I mean, look at that, 6 stat. Especially after that Diviner's Kevlar. Yeah, that's going to do a lot of damage. Add the items, then level up. Okay, so I'm going to go to Reset Hero. Okay.
I will strengthen. Good luck.
And I won't buy anything past what you initially told me to buy. Minus maybe Crippling Headshot. And now, it's at 488. And now I'm going to go to level up. Max level, all perks. What did I just do? Did I just delete all... How did I delete all the items? When I hit max level, did it delete all the items? Why is it doing that? Max level.
Sometimes you have to make your own opportunities.
Okay. It did increase the DPS, yeah. But that doesn't, like... That doesn't make any sense. Why would it do that? Now it's over 1,000.
It's even better advice now.
Now let's see what it's at. Yeah, now it's over 1,000. So is it about to do actually more damage? Oh, I didn't reload before I started. It did do more damage. Oh my god. How is that possible? Like, is it a bug or like, holy shit. The damage was good before. Now it's absolutely out of control. Okay. Okay, that's goofy. You know what? You take out Swift Striker and add in Shadow Weave.
You're the classiest gargoyle I've ever had the pleasure of selling guns to, Ivy.
Oh, Shadow Weave didn't increase the damage that much. Surprising. Okay. I thought because the fire rate on Shadow Weave's higher than it is on Swift Striker.
Well, someone's looking to make a statement.
So in a game, the calculation's flawed because you're always leveled up. But is this gonna work in a real match if it's flawed like that? Like it actually affected the damage so much to do it in the correct way. Like, this damage is out of control. Like, that's a ton of damage. But how could you do this in a game? I mean, you couldn't start with Swift Striker. It's too expensive. And you couldn't go to Glass Cannon after that. Okay. So, now that we had a little bit of fun with that, I am going to